We've been working at this project for almost 2 years now. And it's a beautiful start to September, which is our third year operating on air 24/7. And I'd like to first of all thank everybody for coming this morning, including our new State Representative Kurt Hansen, our old State Senator, not old in that sense, our two-term, is that correct? Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Still in the first term, Becky Schmitz, our State Senator. And our extremely green and old, who's running again, I hear, Ed Malloy, our dear mayor. Thank you so much for coming. Also, what I'm going to do is just quickly read the list of acknowledgments for all those folks who have made this possible. And I tell you, it's been an awesome experience being captain of this team with over 100 people producing 80 shows a week and year in and year out at a very high quality. We were lucky enough to start with then Senator Obama. We have a lovely interview and picture with President Obama holding up a KRUU t-shirt, one of our proud moments. The first t-shirt that we gave out was to then Governor Tom Vilsack. But more than anything, we are defined by our mission, and that is to give voice to Fairfield. Even though out here it sounds like you have to give a lot of voice between Harper and the train, but at any rate, let me just quickly go down the list. I want to say it has been such an honor. Oh, here we go. Honk if you love KRUU. Thank you, Melinda. Solar panels were donated almost 2 years ago by Alan and Martha Craiglow, as well as the Trace inverter that some of you probably saw inside the spaceship room with the new closet. Frank Chichella, in concert with Lonnie Gamble, our very own Lonnie Gamble, both board members of the Sustainable Living Coalition, facilitated the donation of 10 of those beautiful brand new green golf cart batteries. He got those from Interstate Power Care of Dallas, Texas, but that was through his efforts to find a great source. And those batteries are key to our ability to stay up and running in the event of power outages. Frank, Lonnie, and the SLC also arranged for Clipper Wind of Cedar Rapids to provide several $1,000s worth of wire. You're standing right over it now. It goes from here underneath the parking lot. Charge controllers donated by the Focus Company of Germany with the aid of SLC and Nathan Ashelman. Also, the Greater Jefferson County Grant Foundation contributed a partial grant to this for infrastructure costs, the metal that we see behind us. Alliant Energy provided 2 boom trucks and a crew of 4 to auger and install the 21-foot metal poles. And we have quite a display. At some point, we'll give it to the library with all the amazing work that it took to put these things in. Ideal Ready Mix donated and poured cement to set the supports. Lisco provided 2 trucks and a crew of 4 to bore the conduit that runs underneath the parking lot up to the building. Electrical parts and equipment were donated by Kelly Supply Company, as well as their manager, Jeff Johannes. Vintage Power Wagon contributed a gas-powered DC generator. Scaffolding was provided by the Walker Group. We had some additional equipment provided by One Stop Rental. Almost done. Everybody's donated not only the asphalt. I don't know how many of you remember in the early year that we were first up, it was almost a trip to China every time you came up this driveway. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's much more level ground now. We appreciate everybody's doing that for us. They also provided food this morning. I hope you're enjoying the breakfast victuals. Revelation's also helping there. Other significant contributors, Roy Tonneson has done a lion's share of work around the place. Big hand for Roy. Roy actually came down with a little cough, or he'd be here. Also, John Freeberg. John Freeberg does so much everywhere, but for the station, he's been an amazing influence. As a matter of fact, it was John's idea to say, when we were trying to figure out where the poles go, how to get them in the ground, why don't you give a lion to fall? I did. I forgot about it. A week or two later, somebody was talking, what's your radio station about? I went on, like I can, about the radio station. And then I said, you're from where? Alliant. It was their national headquarters. They loved the idea. They got us in touch with the regional and then the local. Sherry Dill Billings here. We're very delighted to work with Alliant Energy. Thank you for that idea, John. Great ideas and great action. Speaking of action, Brian Robbins, working also with the SLC on the SLC board, tying all the power together up there with the panels, and also helping inside as well. Roland Wells, of course, it goes without saying, co-founder of the station here. We'll get to him a little bit in a minute. Lonnie Gamble, who's been kind of guiding light for many projects, but this one as well. As I mentioned, Frank Chichella, Robert Reeder helped with the cement work to get the boring done. He's also a board member of the Sustainable Living Coalition. Licensed electricians Paul Rabelais, who's here, Rick Belmer, and Greg DeRees all contributed mightily to the final switch here, and we're going to be switching on in just a minute. Hopefully their work is good. If not, at least they're here, right? Also, Nelson LaFrancis and Dylan Katz helping with the structures being built and constructed, as well as procuring the materials. All these folks have provided invaluable input, insight, expertise, and muscle into the project. Other contributors, David Herlin, Marcia Hansen, Philip Rabelais, Dick Arnold, Kevin Donahue, Addie Starrett, Heather Miller-Rodriguez, Marie and Grover Stock, who I think we should have a round of applause for, just because they should always have a round of applause, I think. Plus, they're leaving soon, but they're taking us with them. They're just making Fairfield bigger. Also, Stephen Kalt, Joel Dilly, Jack Eastman, Susan Hirschman, and Tom Knight have all contributed here. So I would like to do a special, just quick thanks to the Beatbox and the Fairfield Youth Advocacy for the great work it accomplished as a youth center, open for more than 5 years, at the end serving more than 125 area youths a day at a time when it closed due to lack of funding. But KRUU-FM is a direct carry forward from the work of Roland Wells and others. In 2001, the Beatbox received a $300,000 Federal Department of Education grant to create an area technology center. It was around that time that, or a little before, that Roland applied for and received the FCC permit that has become this radio station, to start a low-power station. He was that alert and that good to put it together. That single license has only been opened 1 week across the country one time, and we were lucky enough to grab it. They're talking about now passing legislation to double or triple the number of low-power stations this year or next. And we're excited about not only that happening for media's sake and local community's sake, but also for the sake of Fairfield, again, being a leading light in this area to for us to be able to provide what we know, what we've done here for others. The nonprofit 501c3 that KRUU is based upon, the building KRUU broadcasts from, the live remote mobile unit you see behind here, much of the sound equipment, the IT infrastructure, computers and such, and much more are all directly owed to the living legacy of the Beatbox. We are that group. We are carrying forward, and we are really proud of that. I want to turn things over to our dear mayor to make a few comments. But before we do, I want everyone to note something you can't quite see from here, and that is a beautiful non-leaking roof. It was an Eagle Scout project. John Cohen and others right here in town accomplished. We are a community station for the community, of the community, by the community, 98% locally produced. We don't only produce the shows, we engineer them, and we are delighted to move forward into our 3rd and 4th year of broadcasting, giving as much as we can. And I must most thank all the DJs and show hosts who show up week after week to share what they have with you. We produce 320 shows a month. We've produced over 10,000 shows now, and it's all absolutely free. But I do see some folks here who have been contributing, listener support, monthly, businesses underwriting now, that's starting to happen. We've never asked the city for 1 penny. We've never received any money from any organization except the Greater Jefferson County Foundation. Our goal is to be self-sufficient, to flourish, and to give voice to all the great people in this town. So on that note, thank you very much.